Good evening, everybody, and you're very welcome to the second week of Meet the Judge. Tonight I'm joined by one of the world's most popular and well-known judges, a judge who is renowned for his caring approach to both exhibits and exhibitors, and one of the nicest and funniest men that you can have on a judges panel. So you're very welcome to hear Hans van der Berg. How are you, Hans?
I'm fine, thank you. And you, are you nervous?
We are good. We are all good. And before we start, how are you coping with the current pandemic, and how is Holland getting on?
We are going better now, I think. Yes, we are going better, and we call it. We have an intelligent lockdown, so we can go on the bicycle and we can go, walking, and we can do more and more. But we have to be careful.
Yes, I think we are easing down lockdown here, but it's very slow. It's very gradual, and I think it's the right way to go.
Yeah.
So, just to get a little bit of background on yourself, Hans, when did you first start showing dogs, and what breed was it, and why?
I started showing dogs. The first dog was 51 years ago.
51?
51 years ago. It was a Welsh Terrier, and I remember it was shown at an open show. It got a very good, and I was very happy. The second one was a Scottie, I think 1 year later, and that Scottie became a champion in, I think, 4 shows.
Wow, she was very good.
Yeah, that was.
Why dogs?
What else?
Why did you choose to show dogs?
I think at school I was always interested in dogs. We had Scotties at home. And at school, I think I was 16, there was a girl, and she showed an Airedale Terrier. And they were very close friends to the president of a local club. And that was the start of being interested in showing and the start. And at that time, you had once a month a meeting, and we learned a lot. That was a very nice time.
And when did you start judging then at national level, and what was your first international appointment?
I started judging in 1978, and at that time there was no difference between national and international.
Okay.
So the president of the kennel club, the Dutch Kennel Club at that time, was not interested in having group judges. She was just interested in having good judges for breeds.
Okay, yeah.
So I remember I had Scottie, Cairn, Westie, Dandy. 4 breeds was a lot at that
That's
time.
a lot.
That was a lot. So, and then 4 years later, I did an international show in Germany. That was the start.
And that was a breed specialty?
That was that was an international show, but just for terriers. At that time, they invited you for 1 day or not so many breeds.
Okay. And how long did it take you then to achieve all breed status?
25 years.
25. That's a lot of time.
No, yeah.
It's not. That's with exams, is it?
We did exams, and at that time you had to do an exam for every breed under 2 breed specialists. So you could not go very fast. I think 3 breeds a year was a lot at that time.
Right. And how many countries now have you judged in?
I tried to count, but I think it is 75.
Oh, that's a lot.
That's a lot, yes.
And of that 75, what's your favorite?
My favorite? No, I don't have any favorites, but I may be very strange. If they always ask what was your most prestigious thing, but I like it if I have some nice dogs and if I have friendship and a bit of fun. So I have been now last year for the third time to Barnaul. Barnaul is in Siberia. And, uh, and,
Okay.
and they say, "Oh, Mr. Hans, do you come back?" And I always say, "Of course I come back." It's a small show and not so many dogs, but you
Mm.
have very nice. I had some top Labradors, in my opinion. And then you have a barbecue, and they are so happy that you are there. You know, it is, yeah. And the second day, it was a 1 day show. The second day, we went to a club show for Central Asian Ovcharkas, that is a Russian Shepherd dog. And
Hmm.
and then you learn a lot. They talk to you, and yeah, I like it. I love it.
Sometimes the smaller shows.
Sometimes you have a show. It is a prestigious show. You sit in
Mm.
a hotel
Yes.
in the middle of nowhere, alone, and
Yes.
and then you have to say to yourself, "What am I doing here?" I was once at the show, and the lady said, the woman said, "Oh, Mr. Van der Broek, they are so happy. Do you come back?" I said, "Madam, never in my life." She said, "But next time we go to the Ottawa, to the waterfalls." I said, "No, no, no, I can go on my own without a dog show. Because 1 week alone is not very, for me, not fun.
No. No. That's not nice. That's
No.
not nice. So your favorite breed to judge?
I was thinking about this question. I have no favorite breeds. The only thing is that for me, um, terrier stories, schnauzers, is more relaxing because I judge them such a long time. And,
Mm.
and breeds I'm not so familiar with. It costs more energy. I have to use my brains more and more.
Mm.
Sometimes if you as an already judge two of this and two of that, and then I can say no, 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 that's too much because your computer has to change all the time.
Yes, all the time. Yes, I find that as well. I like to judge my own breeds or breeds that I am more familiar with, because
Yeah,
it's more relaxed. You're more comfortable with them,
yeah.
and as you say, judging breeds you're not possibly familiar with can be a lot more difficult.
Yeah,
Or
it is difficult, and you have to. And I'm preparing more. You know, if it's a Scotty, you read the standard, and that's it.
mm,
If it's a Bracco Italiano, I have to study and to study and to study. That's it.
yes, yes, yes. And is there a breed that you particularly dislike judging?
No, no,
No.
no, because I think it's my obligation to judge. To judge the breeds I say yes to.
Mm,
I can also say no if I don't
true.
like the breed. So
Yes.
I think many years ago they asked me in Norway for a Tibetan Spaniel club show, and I said no because I didn't feel well. I was not
Mm,
so experienced in the breed, so you can
mm,
say no as well. Yeah,
mm,
and I
yes.
remember once, I they passed me for English bulldogs, but I had a feeling, oh no, and then I went to South Africa, and I had I think about 50 or 55. I think I need some a breeder who can help me. So I went to a breeder, and she had the statues on the table. But I said, "Oh, I don't see it." She said, "If you miss the breeds, push the ears forwards to the eyes, and it looks very professional." So, but that I hate it. No, I want if I
And
don't
did you?
if I don't know the type, I don't like to judge them.
Mm, okay. Okay. And when you're judging dogs, is there a particular fault that really irritates you?
What's irritating me as a terrier person, I can trim a dog
Mm,
perfectly and it looks 10 times better than it really is. So
mm.
sometimes I judge dogs and I say it's a clock without a machine. The movement is
Very
not,
true.
and you can have, let's say, long coated breeds, and you think, oh, there is nothing under the coat. Imagine this is a whippet. Then you
Yeah.
will be talked about. And
Yeah.
there's a lot now. It's coat, it is glamour, it is, yeah.
That is the power of the presentation breed, isn't it? You can sculpt them.
Yeah, of course, it's the competition, and you can and you do your best, but you can make them nicer, but you cannot make them nicer than they really are, I think.
And that's why it's so important. And there is this argument sometimes about, do you really need to put your hands so much over dogs? Yes, presentation breeds, absolutely.
Yeah.
Maybe not the smoother breeds, because what you see is what you get. But it is so important to get your hands in underneath that coat and get to feel what's underneath it.
You
And some people don't realize that.
And you, as an American Cocker person, you know it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. So to date, what's your biggest? Sorry, I skipped a question there. Your favorite show to judge at?
My favorite. I think
yes.
I'm not the person for this kind of very big shows. I like a bit smaller shows. When I talk to people, when I can talk about dogs, and sometimes if the shows are very big, it is not easy for me.
No, it's not.
Yeah,
and particularly when you have a lot of dogs to judge, and it's a very big judging panel, you don't get to talk to the people as much as possibly you want to, or even the exhibitors as much as you'd like to, because you have a lot of dogs to judge.
Yeah, that's it. And you say hello, how are you, and then that's it.
Yeah. And your biggest judging achievement to date?
More, I have to look at my paper. That is, which question is it?
Your biggest judging achievement?
Yeah, what is my biggest achievement? I did so many world shows, European shows, and I do 43. I give CCs to 43 breeds in England. And I think which show did I really like? That was the show in Leipzig, the world show. I did the French Bulldog males and best of breed, and the atmosphere was fantastic. It was like a football match, for the best of breed. They all were clapping and shouting, and I think this is really sport.
Okay.
But an achievement. Yeah, what can I say? I judge in Ireland. I judge at Crufts. I did the Yukonuba World show. No, but no. Sometimes it's a small show. I like to go back.
Okay. Somebody's just asking here, do you think that judges these days can get qualified through their groups easier than years ago? Or perhaps that depends on the country. When
I was young, I think when we were showing, we were not interested in the group judge or the best in show judge. We went for the breeds. That's different. And now sometimes they ask, who is doing best in show? Who is doing?
Yes.
Yeah, and then I think, I go for the breed. That is important. I think for the group. Yeah. I am really for the breeds. Not. I think years ago it was. We did one breed, another breed, and then I had 5 breeds or 7 breeds. I did. I think 76 full examinations, and that means that you have to judge males, females. That was not easy. But it's now. I think it doesn't give better judges. I think we have good judges now as well, young ones who are very talented.
Yes, that's good.
Yeah. So we all have the best system. Every country has the best system, but you choose the judges.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Very true. And over your career judging, is there a particular dog that you have judged that you still say, wow, he was fantastic?
Now I take my spectacles, and I think there's always a nice dog with a special story. I've seen so many nice dogs. So let's tell something. I was in New Zealand years ago, and I judged a Rottweiler, Rolex Rumor has it or something. That was the name. And I said to my partner, I think this has a chance to win Best in Show. He's so nice. And then the group just did not even look at him. So my partner said, "No, yeah. So you say you are a good judge." Later on, I think he went to England, and there he was top dog for Liz Dunhill.
Yes.
She showed him, but that's a long time ago. That's what I remember. And I remember doing Best in Show at Darlington, and it was raining and it was mud. We are standing this with the boots, and there came in a magnificent standard poodle, a white poodle. He won, and immediately after winning Best in Show, he had to go for the hair test.
Yes.
And that's what I remember. And I remember a Chihuahua in Kazakhstan. I was in Kazakhstan, and there were 2 shows, but it was so hot. So the second show started at 2:00, and the last dog, or one of the last dogs I judged, was a smooth coat Chihuahua. Lovely, outstanding, so nice. And
they're underestimated smooth coat Chihuahuas when they are absolutely beautiful.
Yes, he was, but it was 8:00 in the morning, Sunday morning. I was so tired, and I said to her, "Madam, I have the feeling I've seen it before." "Yeah," she said, "you had it in Ulan-Ude, and that is near Mongolia." So they, that is what I remember, and I will never forget the World Show in Poland, where I had, I think, the best Scottie I've ever seen. It was a black bitch bred in Germany. And now, last year, I was in Canada. I had a Bouvier, very, very nice, over-trimmed, but he was fantastic in bone and substance and movement. And it reminds me, I think so we had them 30 years ago as well. Very nice, and it was bred on Dutch lines.
Very good.
That's it.
Good. So now the opposite is there a dog that you've seen that you've never had your hands on, but you would have loved to have judged?
No, because I think if we see, that's very interesting. When you sit, let's say, for the group judging or the best show, there are judges, they have an opinion.
Yes.
They say that's the best one. What do we see? We see the size, we see the profile, but what do we see in the head or the front? And we can see the
quite true.
But I think I can see a nice dog, and then I can think, oh, I would love to have the hands on it. That's it. No.
Yeah, that's very true. That is very true. So going back to what you were saying about judging in the UK, UK standards can be slightly different.
Yeah.
So how do you manage that? Do you adapt to that standard?
You always judge according to the standard of the country where you are. So if it's FCI, you do the FCI. If you go to America and you have a written Bouvier de Flandre, you have to judge it. And so you do it according to the standard. Yeah,
so when in Rome.
Sorry?
When in Rome, judge as the Romans.
Yeah. You cannot say, oh, no, it's not my type, or it's not a good color. You can only think it. But
yes. Yeah. What's the most embarrassing or funny moment during your career?
How many funny things do you want to hear? Let's start now. Because I was thinking, many years ago, I think I was just starting. I was for the first time in Italy, and it was a toy specialty, and I will never forget. It was Contessa Lanza de Mazzarini, and it was in Villa Monzoni. It was unbelievable. It was so nice. But then she had gardens, and the show had supposed to be in the garden, and then it was raining and raining and raining, and the Contessa, who was drinking gin all the time, said to the phone, "Oh, Hans, you can judge the Yorkshire Terriers in the kitchen." So I judged the Yorkshire Terriers in the kitchen,
In
and
the
I
kitchen.
in the kitchen, and the butlers were poking around me, and then I will never forget. And then I think, how can I see the movement? But I learned to say "vieni qui" in the corridor. So I saw the movement in the corridor up and down. And at the lunch, I think we all had our own butler. So that was nice. I think I am a bit strange now and then. That is not always easy. But I was in England, and I did duck tolling retrievers, and there was a lady, and I said, "Madam, can you please go back and forth?" She said, "Yes, but I'm very old." So I said, "Yes, yes, me too." Then she said, "My heart is not so good." I said, "Oh, I have the same handicap." Give me an arm, so we go up, not so far, up and down. If we die together, we are in all the magazines. We went up and down, and then I said, "Now you have to do it on your own." But that was a difficulty because I think England, they can complain. So last time I did it, but they laughed. And that was no.
That's brilliant. Brilliant.
I have more. I had once in Finland, there was a lady, she said, "Don't tell my husband I love you very much." Oh, thank you. And then she had no een coton de Tuileries, and she won best male, and she said, "Oh, my love is growing and growing." I think, "Oh, thank you very much." But then she did not win best of breed, so that was a bit over after the final. And what do we have more?
Yeah, she fell out of love with you.
Oh yeah, and they had once a Rhodesian Ridgebacks in Austria, no quality, and in male champion class male there was no excellent, and there was one man, a bodybuilder, that thought, "I think this will be a problem, but I have time to think about it with the bitches." So I think, oh yeah, okay. So I was finished, and then there he came. I said, "I'm waiting for you. I'm so happy that you come." And then he said, "Yes." I said, no, I have time. I can explain you everything because I can see that you are very involved in the breed." And then he collapsed a little bit because he wanted to fight and to argue. I said, "I'm so happy that you're here." And can I be angry? Yeah, I can also. Oh, and I was once in Indonesia. Yeah. And I did Dobermans, and there was a Doberman standing like a statue. And I looked, I think, what is this? And then there was a lady sitting with a rooster on her head. But I didn't say anything. It was a long time ago, and they all did these things.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, is there a show you haven't judged that yet that you would love to?
No, I never think about the future. I do my best. I do my best, and I like to judge, but I'm not dreaming or thinking, "Oh, I would love to be there." No, I don't think about a special show. No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. There we go. To bring us on now to
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
as all breeds judges, we can sometimes go to shows or accept breeds that we're not familiar with, because that is very often the role of the all-rounder. You sweep and you pick up maybe rare breeds that maybe we haven't even in our own country. So how do you approach judging those?
Of course, but listen, and it's very important. I think if you behave like God, you will never learn. If you call or mail another judge and you say, "Can you help me?" they help you really,
Hmm.
really, really nice. They always help you.
Yes.
If you
Yeah.
call someone in Finland for a Finnish laphund, they send you pictures, they explain you everything. But you must always find the moment to learn. I think there's always a moment to learn. I'm clever in it. If I go to, let's say, if I go to Russia and there is an Ochaka specialist, I have pictures with me of dogs,
Okay.
and I say, can you explain me? What do you think of this? And I write it down with the name of the judge and the date, and it gives me a lot of pleasure and a lot of this, that I think this is nice.
Very
and
good.
they learn you a lot. But if you
Yeah.
don't ask, you don't learn.
You're quite right, because I don't think we ever stop learning, and if you think you've stopped learning, then you should stop judging.
Yeah, I did once in Denmark, Dunker. Now Dunker, I had 4, and I did my best, and I had pictures, and then the man said, "Oh, Mr. van der Berg, you are a specialist." I said, "No, sir, I do them now for the first time." Be honest to yourself. Don't play something what you are not.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true. So you have a reputation around the world as being one of the most pleasant and nicest judges to show under, and his reputation, which is well deserved. So when you get an inexperienced exhibitor or somebody who has a nervous dog, how do you deal with it? How do you approach them? Do you give them time?
No, let's say if it is a dog, a table dog, let's say it's an American Cocker, and it is not an experienced, let's say, woman, I can say to her, "Are you nervous?" And then she will say yes, and then I say, "Me too." I said, "Now we are both nervous, but how can I help you? Shall I go for the beer? Shall I go for the cigarette?" And then they relax, and then now we go up and down. And if they don't know what to do, it is not only the like junior handling. I think if it's a nice dog, they get a chance as well. Yeah, that's how it is.
But I think as judges, we do need to give inexperienced exhibitors the time. I know we have a lot of breeds to judge, and we have a lot of dogs to judge, but if we have new exhibitors that are inexperienced, if we dismiss them immediately, then they're not going to come back.
They will never come back.
And I think we have an onus. Would you agree that we have an onus as judges to encourage them to stay on?
Yeah, but if they say, "Oh, Mr. van der Berg, you are a bit slow," and then I will say, "Yes, I'm slow, but I'm not so young anymore, and it's slow," because sometimes you need to talk. It is not like a machine. I like, and you see them back again.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think you must always realize that they come for your opinion, and that you have to treat them with respect. Because
in some countries they paid a lot of money for your opinion.
Yeah, and I think so. If it's a poor country, they pay a lot and they travel a lot. And imagine if if you have an American Cocker or me a Scotty, it's a lot of work to show them. And I do it, and you do it for me. So I can be nice. They say that's very strange. They say, "Oh, Hans, you're so nice." I said, "At least I can be nice. Why not?" I say yes, but I can be angry as well.
Yes. Oh, yes. I think we can all be.
I remember once, but I don't mention the country. I was judging at a night show, and I had only aggressive dogs. Like Cane Corso, not aggressive, but more these Cane Corso, Ovcharka, and I had no light, not a lot of light, and then I said to one of the judges, I said, "Why do I have all these breeds?" And he said, "Just because I don't like them." So I had them. And then there was a lady with a giraffe, a toy. And back and it went so and so. I said, Madam, can you please stop now with this giraffe? Because it was for her American Staffordshire Terrier. And then she went on, and then I said, and now it's over. You must now leave immediately the ring, because, it's not fair to the other exhibitors. If you have this double handling. And they also, that is, and I can be angry. I was in Germany, a fat man with a Belgian Shepherd, and the wife was calling, I think, let's say, Nero. I said, sir, it's double handling. Please, is it your wife? Yes, sir. Ja, mein Herr. And I said, please, can you ask her to stop it? And he looked at me and he said, And then she went on. I said, it's no problem. Ask if she can shout again. You go from excellent, it is a very nice dog, you go from excellent to very good. And if she shouts again, you go to good. And then the game is over.
But you raise a very, very good point here, because in a lot of the world, and it's creeping into Europe now, you see where Dobermans are being double-handled, where you see Rottweilers are being double-handled. They're being held at the end of the lead. And I remember, I won't say which country, but I was judging next door to Rottweilers, and a ball landed right in the middle of the ring because they were throwing these all over the place. And it's not necessary.
No, and some exhibitors are so stupid because they make the dogs more and more nervous. You can see it is bull terriers. Sometimes I think, what is this? They are crazy with the ball, and it doesn't. And a dog with a good temperament doesn't need a ball in the ring.
Not remotely.
No, that is
not remotely. And what about this habit that has crept in as well of people feeding their dogs while they're showing them with
away, I say. I don't want to have this in the ring anymore.
Yeah, it's very distracting, and it's very difficult to go over a dog who's more intent or interested in the food.
Yeah, and they don't look at you, the dog. The dog is not easy to show the bite. And they especially, let's say, flat-coated retrievers, that's a fashion. Yeah, I say, no. Now we stop it.
Yeah.
Show it as a normal. Yeah, and to be honest, do I like to see dogs shown on, but you have American Cockers with the high necks on, how do you call it in English, a mat?
Yes. It's not necessary.
No, I say, please, can you take it away? It's a dog, and it can stand on its own legs.
I have seen recently Irish setters being put on a mat. Why?
Yeah, I don't know. Fashion?
It's not natural.
No, it's not natural, so I don't like it.
Critiquing. Now, we're very lucky in this part of the world where English is our first language, and everyone speaks English, no matter where you are. So do you find it difficult? Do you find it useful?
First of all, I only critique in a language I can read back. I will never, it's always a discussion in Russia or Poland. They give you a translator. I said, no, I want to read what I say. Because years ago, I had a very nice lady in Portugal, and I did Siberian Huskies, and she did a translation into Portuguese. And when they translated into English, I said to myself, but I've never said this. So I want to read what I write.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or German.
How many languages do you speak?
Now, no, I can speak. Now you can see English, German, of course Dutch. And if the French, if they speak slowly, I can understand it as well. But they are not very social. They go so fast.
Yes.
And they never speak English. A few.
No. This is sometimes true of Italy too.
So I said to one judge, there's a French judge, I said, why don't you learn some words in English that you can say? when is the start? When do we start? Or something, but they are not interested. So they stay in France or in Swiss.
Yeah.
And they don't
Yeah.
have the experience. And that's dangerous because you never see other dogs.
Yeah.
So you are used to what you have. And sometimes sometimes you see much better dogs in another country.
Yeah. And if you were somebody who's going on their first international appointment, and they're going to be critiquing for the first time, what advice would you give them?
I think start with type.
Mm-hmm.
Say excellent type or very good in type and explain why.
Mm-hmm.
And then go from and make, if you are not experienced, have the whole routine, go to the head, the front, the body. But please don't start with a short upper arm.
Yeah.
Because that is also I had a student and she was only looking at an upper arm or the angulation in the backhand. But I said, Madam, is it a nice dog? She said, yes, but it is not nice in the upper arm. I said, but this is a nice dog. It could have a bit more angulation here in the front. But look at the type, and yeah, that's how I look. You look the same at the dog, I hope. You say, it's a nice cocker, that's the start.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly the start.
My partner can say, I can send him away for the Scotty, and he has no idea about angulation, but he can see a nice dog. He can see, but he does it because he knows the type, what I like. Yeah, that's it.
And as we were chatting with Anne last week, and she has said very similar, but it's important to say positive things about a dog and then say what you would prefer or what you wouldn't like or what you don't like. But to be as kind as possible.
And say it nice, and if it's too much, no one reads your critique like a school child. If it's all red, they don't read it anymore. So, and if it's a very bad dog, and then I think about some nice things. I think, oh, I can see you are in such a good relation with the dog, or I'm so happy with the condition. And
that's very true, because we've all judged or had the dog come in that you think, oh my God, what am I going to say about this dog?
Yeah.
So, but you will always find something like super temperament or, in super condition, as you say. But it's important to say positives as well as the negatives.
Yeah, and that's important because it's easy to criticize, but it is more respectful to say some nice things about the dog as well. But you must not lie. I think I don't lie about the dog. If the dog is not nice, I will not say he's nice. You know what I mean?
Yes,
I can
absolutely.
And sometimes I said, Madam, I explain you if they are not experienced. Look, we both now look at the bite. They need 6 there and 6 there. And look, there's 4. Oh, but the dog is for you the same. He can eat with 4 teeth. And then she said, thank you very much.
Okay, so when you started judging, what was the best piece of advice you were given?
The best piece of advice, I started, I think, no, they did not give me advice. I looked at other judges and I always tried to say to myself, why do I like this judge? And that's, let's say, when I was young, I liked Pamela Cross-Turn a lot. She was very nice in the ring. She was very respectful to the exhibitors. She was a good judge, so it always knowledge and your behavior in the ring. And now, at the moment, of course, you can ask feedback. My partner can say, why did you talk to that exhibitor and not to the other one? And then I say, yeah, that's not good. Why? You have to if you say forth and back, you have to look at the dog till he's really back at his place. Because
Yes.
if you don't like the dog, you can say, yeah, next one, please. So you learn a lot. And if it's a breed I'm not so familiar to, I have friends and I can say, can you look at my judging and tell me what you think about it? And they do. And and there's another one. There's another thing. I judged once again my partner. I judged the group, and I had one dog in the group. I judged as a breed as well. In the breed, so I touched all the dogs, and only that one I said up and down, and he said it looked very strange. So even if you judge the dog before, you must do the same as the other ones.
Yeah, very important.
That's very important. And so you make mistakes. And what is another advice? You have a personality, judge with your personality, and some judges, they change in the ring into another person. And it's always fun. If they feel the power, or I don't know what, but that is, you are what you are. So if I behave like a very macho, I think they start to laugh. But you must not play another. You must be just judged as the person you are.
Because you are there is an audience outside that ring, and
if I do very strange,
if you don't behave, and if you do very strange things, you won't get an entry the next time you come out, because people will say, well, he's a very strange judge, I'm not going to enter under him again.
And they will never enter. And I think, if you are in the middle of the ring, but you are for the exhibitors, and you are not a star. You're not a star at all. If you want to be a star, then you have to go to television.
Yes.
But a star standing in the rain in Sweden for 8 hours.
Yeah.
That's not a star. That is, you work hard and you do your best and you love the job. But we have stars. But the star, I always say, you can better go to the television. That's more your job.
And going back to what we were saying earlier, a lot of these people have paid a lot of money for your opinion. So you've got to make sure that each dog and each exhibitor gets the exact same attention as every other exhibitor. Because, that's only fair.
Yeah, and I think, it is... whatever the dog is, they all get the same attention. I think that's good in the US. I think that's in the rule. You have to give them all the same attention.
Yes.
If you stay moving up and moving back and forth, you have to do it with all the dogs. You cannot choose one or two. And I think that's a good system. That's it.
For judges that are going on their very first international appointment, what advice would you give them? Because that can be quite daunting. Even we all judge in our own countries, and we all judge for the first time in our own countries. But you tend to settle in a lot quicker. But going away for your first international appointment, where there are foreign judges watching, and it can be slightly more critical. What advice would you give them?
Now, the first advice is, I think. You need a briefing.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to England, they are obliged to give a briefing, so they tell you about the rules. I think that's important. And that you have the time to ask.
Yeah.
Because here, FCI, the procedures can be a bit different.
Yes, it varies from country to country.
Yeah. So
we have a briefing in this country at most shows.
Do the briefing and give the judge the time to ask. And even in Germany, you have, let's say, a junior winner, or it's all different. So you have to know. And then more important is, what is the name of the hotel and the address? Who is waiting for me?
Yes.
What is the telephone number of the person who is waiting for me?
It's very true.
because that's something I can write books about. Standing there, I was even once in in Bangkok, and I was waiting, and they said to me, Barbara Müller is also coming 1 hour later. So I was sitting there, and after 2 hours, there was no Barbara Müller. And I think, oh, do I have a telephone number? No. Do I have? And even now, I'm getting red. I think, do I have the hotel? No. And then all of a sudden, there was an exhibitor. He said, hey, Mr. Hans, how are you? And he brought me to the hotel. And then the president said, oh, no, she's coming tomorrow. This Barbara Müller. She was coming the next day. So that.
Yeah. Somebody's asking here. Some breeds don't seem to be conforming to standards, and would you, as a judge, if you thought they were not really on standard but had only 3 of such in the ring, would you forgive this and award the best of what you? I think what they're saying is that if you have 3 dogs in a ring and none of them conform to the standard, do you place them as you have them, or do you grade them accordingly? Do you give them very goods, or?
It's a very good, but you mean, do I give them an excellent?
Yes.
No. It's very good, very good. If that is, I don't. No. We have cheap champions. A lot of. No. I just give what I think the dog is worth.
Yeah, I would totally agree with you on that. If you were to judge in any other sport, what would it be? If you hadn't chosen dogs.
Sheep.
Say again?
Suffolk sheep, I think.
Okay.
Sheep.
Really?
We bred also sheep, and I had a champion, and so I think I had a good eye for cattle as well. But I never had, because that was also washing and phoning and everything. So I think that this isn't. But I think Suffolk sheep, yes, I like them very much.
So it's pretty similar to dogs. Conformation, presentation.
But when I started, there was the cattle, and I chose, I think, out of 50, 2 sisters. That were the first ones, and then we had a good breeding as well. I loved it.
Okay. I'm going to throw a question in here, which I actually didn't give you, but I'm going to ask you anyway. Who is the biggest influence on you when you were showing or judging, whichever, as your career was developing?
Who had the most influence? I think we had old judges, and I respect. They are not alive anymore. We had a Mr. Wieldraaier, we had a Mr. Kraker, and they were really fantastic judges, and we liked them very much. And if they were sitting and watching, you were always nervous, but they criticized you and they say, Hans, you did a good job, or this was not correct. So that's. But people are not always happy when they get feedback. No,
they're not. But and again, last week with Anne, we were discussing this. It's very important. Yeah. It's very important for people who are showing dogs to get feedback from people who have been in their breed for many years. But it's also important for judges to get feedback from people who've been judging a lot longer than them, so that they can keep developing and learning.
Yeah, and that is very strange. I don't know why, but some younger judges, they are afraid to ask because they think if I ask, it looks very weak.
Yes, but it's not.
No, I think that's very strange. For example, a Dutch breed, Schapendoes, I think it's normal if you do maybe Schapendoes that you ask Hans, can you have a look at my best of breed? And then I can say he's nice, maybe he's a bit up to size, or he's a bit, but it is in a very positive way. And I will always do it because that's I'm not a specialist in let's say Spanish water dogs, so I can ask.
Yeah, yeah. I have very often on breeds where I'm not so sure on ask somebody for what they look for.
Yeah,
Give me their version of the standard. You know what's the most important elements. And
and you,
even as all rounders, I think we are still learning. Um, and people coming into the sport or starting off judging need to realise that and go to the likes of yourself and say, Hans, I want a little bit of advice on this breed or that breed. And you're not
can
going to
you
say no.
can you help me?
Yes.
That's it. Can you help me? And sometimes, years ago I was in Belgium and I did Weimarana and I said to myself, this was not a good judging. Why? Because I was not sure about the type. The best
Mm.
of the best of breed was nice, no problem. But in general, and then you can always call a good breeder who wants to help you. Of course, you
Mm.
need your eyes, and you don't need a breeder who's telling you how good all the dogs are. But there are always breeders who will help you, and that's the way to learn.
Yes. And sometimes one of the most daunting things is when you go to your ring and you meet your stewards for the first time, and maybe you're judging Cocker Spaniels, whatever, and you introduce yourself and you're chatting away, and and what's your breed? And they'll say Cocker Spaniels, and you think to yourself, oh, okay, I'm doing them. So, but when you very often when I'm finished, I will say, well, and most times they will either agree, but I have had occasion where somebody says, I didn't like your best of breed because of this, and this. And you say, okay,
Yeah,
maybe it's true.
and if you know that you are honest as you can be, then you can have the critique. Yeah, you think that's another opinion. Even with my partner, if I judge and he sit in the ring, he said, "Now for me, I think your second one, I like the second one better than the first one." And then we discuss, and sometimes I say, "No, yeah, maybe you're right."
Your
That's
partner is very critical.
No, because if you are so long together and you have seen so many dogs, so that's
This is true though, because Rita and I very rarely agree.
you agree or you disagree.
We very rarely agree. We disagree more than we agree.
Yeah, yeah,
And
no, but
that's
you know,
John's.
yeah, but in
If
personal, you agree.
no,
Oh, so it's a very nice marriage.
yes.
Okay.
Do you think, just developing on that, do you think judges understand the important role they have in influencing the development of breeds? Because we do have a role in
Yes,
policing breeds.
I think I think most of the judges. I hope that they realize how important they are. And I will never forget the story. Years ago, we had a world show here in Amsterdam, and there was a Dutch judge doing Newfoundlands.
Hmm.
And I think she did a very good job, and she was very true to the standard. But it was that time, it was more in fashion to have dogs with this low ear set,
Mm.
drip ear, moving like a gun dog. And then they were shouting and screaming, and I think no, 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 she did a very good job, and she was true to the type she liked.
Mm.
That's important, so you must not go on with the fashion.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think we have a role too where sometimes breed specialists can get um, distracted or hung up on one particular fault in a breed. I think certainly all rounders have a role to play where sometimes when they focus on those faults, they can lose soundness. And the all rounders and the judges that don't are not necessarily specialists will point that out because those dogs won't win.
Now,
I
I
think
think,
judges have a very important role in that sort of way.
yeah, you look maybe a bit different at your American Cockers as I do.
Yes.
Maybe. Yeah, but you must not say that all the all-rounders look as an all-rounder to all the breeds.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, they sometimes they say to me, yeah, that's an all-rounder. But I was at the seminar for English Cocker Spaniels, and there was one man, one judge, and he said, yeah, but you are an all-rounder. I said, no, I did exactly the same examination as you did.
Yes.
But because I am an all-rounder, he said he looks as an all-rounder at the same, but we did the same examination together.
Mm-hmm.
And that's also strange.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I look, yeah, some specialists have special features. I think sometimes it is in the size in Tibetan Terriers. And the
Yes, that's very true.
And then another thing, so yeah, that's happening.
Somebody's just asking there now, do you think FCI's group 4 and 6 should be combined to make them more competitive?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes?
I think so. Yeah.
I think it's time, maybe. Because group 6.
Yeah, I think it's better together.
This is a difficult question now. We all know the current situation in Holland regarding brachy breeds. What are your thoughts on this? How do you think it should be approached from here on?
Now, let's say some time ago, I saw a very glamorous picture on internet showing the Minister of Agriculture, Mrs. Schouten, the Managing Director of the Kennel Club, Mr. Doedijns, and one of the board members with a book they offered the minister. It was the Dutch breeds, and they were all smiling and happy. So I thought, now it gave an impression that they had a very good relationship.
Okay.
And now, if I look at the reality, it's shocking.
Okay.
I can say that the Kennel Club did a very bad job. And I hope people realize what's going on. 12 breeds, and you have to, let's say, let's focus on the pug, the mops, the pug, you know the pug?
I do.
They need the length in the muzzle of 3 centimeters. Yeah. And I think in the future it will be 5. And at the moment, you can breed with one of the parents if the nose is correct and the other one is not correct, then you can breed. But then you must also have no problems with the breathing, with the nostrils, with the wrinkle over the nose, the white around the eyes. So at the moment, I think you cannot breed any. And the minister says she advised the Kennel Club to improve the breed by selection or with an outcross.
Outcross to what?
Yeah, to another breed.
So now they're mongrels.
And that's the situation. And I think they lost in a way from the, we have how do you call it? We have, we call it animal and justice.
Okay.
They won now, and they had now the 12 breeds. But when you see them, when you see the list, there are 22 breeds they want to fight for. Yeah, and that's also a Yorkshire Terrier, a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, a Chihuahua. So, so I think, in a way, it is.
So what? what
And,
are
and people don't realize that that's a pity here. People are very individuals. They say, "Oh, I have a gun dog. Who cares?" But there will be more. It's now
no, no,
12.
no, no. We can't take that position because we're all dog people, and what affects one breed affects us all.
And I don't understand why we are the first country where it happens this way. I think there are so many opinions also about the breathing.
Mm.
They did the tests here, but there is also the Animal Health Trust, and maybe they have another opinion about the length of the nose in combination with the health. So I think I think it is silent now, but how can we judge them?
This is the problem. But do you think the international kennel clubs have a role here in trying to because Holland is not going to be the only country to do this. This is going to have a knock-on effect now. So do you think foreign FCI, AKC, Kennel Club London, are they doing enough?
Yeah, I think. But I'm not a vet, but I think did he also test healthy dogs?
Mm.
And because there are so many healthy dogs as well, and I think you destroy a whole hundreds of years. I think 50 years ago, I visited a pup breeder here in Holland, and her dogs were fat, lazy, with prominent eyes. And I think a lot of the pugs are sound in the movement. They are not
Yes.
so overrun. Yeah, and if you read the standard of a Griffon, the Griffon says the nose placement between the eyes.
Mm.
And what's happening with a longer nose?
Yeah.
How do they look like? Do they look like a German Pinscher? I don't know.
But I think part of the problem is that all of these breeds over the last 5, 10 years, whatever, have become really popular. All the celebrities have them. Everybody wants a pug. Everyone wants a French bulldog. And popularity means that the backyard breeders or puppy farmers, whatever you want to call them, breed them in vast quantities. And unless governments get control of that and not penalise responsible breeders, I mean, we've all judged pugs and French bulldogs around the world and English bulldogs, whatever. And yeah, you get the odd one that maybe has has pinched nostrils, and automatically you give it a very good. But in general, they are very healthy in the show ring.
They are a lot are very healthy. If I judged, I did them in Leipzig with all the males. I was talking here at home. I think I had no breathing problems at all. And they know I'm very keen on health. And do you help breeders to throw a breed away?
But it is a message that I think kennel clubs are failing to get out to governments and the general public that, we're not the enemy here. We are trying to help.
I'm not so in I think Belgium does it more in cooperation with the government, but I'm not sure about it. That's different. I think there is Norway, maybe. Do you know it? They work with a scientist from So and what's happening now? If you breed a pug who is not according to the health things from the vet, you are breeding illegal.
Really?
Yeah, I think
it's very serious.
And I think if you the kennel club wants to give you a paper, not a pedigree, but a paper with the parents. But I think if I did it this way, if I bred now pugs with a shorter muzzle, I will never give papers to the kennel club, but because the government, they can control the papers.
Mm.
And then I can better breed them here without the pedigree. And because who is checking with a centimeter here in my city?
Indeed.
The length of my the nose. So this rule will bring a lot of problems. You will see puppy farms with a kind of pug look dog with a bit maybe longer muzzle or not. It will be a drama. It is, yeah.
It will be devastating for the breed.
Yeah, and they don't realize there are more breeds to go.
Well, they don't care.
No, next one. I saw also there was a dog, a border terrier, on in the magazine, and this company or this association said, "Oh, it is too short in the muzzle." So it is a big problem, and maybe in Bernese, it's not healthy. So I think this is very, very, very dangerous, and I hope the breed clubs in cooperation with the kennel club can do something.
I would hope so. Again, I alluded to last week. I think the major kennel clubs need to get together and form some sort of scientific body to move it forward on our behalf.
To move forward and to help the people.
Yes. Because it needs money, and kennel clubs don't have it right now.
That's it. And I think that I have friends. We bring our dog always to friends. They have a champion male, a French bulldog. He is sound. He never had a problem. He moves like fantastic, better than the Scotties. So, and do we see these dogs as well? And I think we need compassion with the breeders who did the breed for such a long time. And what is it? What is it now? They can show a dog, but they cannot breed with the dog. And maybe some with money, they change their kennel name to, let's say, Belgium or Germany.
Yeah, makes no sense.
Or Tenerife. Is that
very
nice?
Serious?
Is that very nice for the dog? If it's in Belgium to go to Tenerife? No. It is, and I hope our kennel club will have some. How can I say, they are now defending the rules of this government, but they should have shown more. More love for the owners, I think. So
because you're right, because the responsible breeders are not the enemy.
No.
And that's what kennel clubs need to get across to governments.
You read it. It is now new. And yesterday I rang the association for judges here in Holland, and they don't know anything. It's silent.
Okay.
How do we have to judge them?
Yeah.
Of course, I will judge them according to the standard country of origin. And if I have to change it, no way, then I will stop judging them.
Good for you.
Over the years, I'm an old judge. I judge them so many years, and we paid so much attention to health. And people can see it. I'm very strict. Nostrils, roll, wrinkles, everything. So, no. This is a very bad situation.
It is.
Dangerous.
It is. And as I say, it's one that I think other countries will probably start adopting. And that's where we're going to run into serious trouble.
yeah, and maybe there are. I think what is Sweden doing in English bulldogs? I
Mm.
think judged by Scandinavian judges, and they
Yes.
they try to to help the breeders. But this is the end, and I think this is the end of a long story.
Yes.
My
Yes.
opinion.
Mm. Mm. Unfortunately. Okay, so just putting that particular issue to one side, um, how do you see our sport right now, and how do you see it in the future?
We must go there. We are very, I don't know if it's all over the world. We are very proud of what we are, our
Mm.
Canada, and we must go. We must do more public relations
Yes.
outside the dog world. We are too much so inside. We are used to this. We are used to a bulldog. We are used to over-trimmed dogs. I have to be careful, but we must show our healthy, nice dogs. There are so many dogs, and if I have a friend here with she had a Labradoodle, a very,
Okay.
a very sick dog. Now
Uh-huh.
it died when she had to clean the teeth. So I said to her, "Do you buy now a poodle?" "No, no, no." She said, "I get a cobber dog." I said, "What is a cobber dog?" She said, "A cobber dog, that is a new kind of a Labradoodle. Because of the problems with Labradoodle, they make now a new, healthier breed." I have a niece,
Unbelievable.
stupid, but she bought a Labradoodle. She paid 2,200
Mm.
euro. She
Yeah.
she paid in advance 150 euro. She cannot choose a male or a female. And she had a friend. She gets a bitch and she can breed 1 litter, and she had to pay 7,000 euro.
Good grief.
So no problems, no pedigree, and because you have no name, they can never.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah. It's not good.
it's not good at
Uh,
all.
but where do we go? What do we do in the future?
Try to find clever dogs, clever dogs. Try to find clever people who
Yeah.
have a bit of level and who can communicate with the government. They are, but I think we have to be critical about what we can. If you feel
Yeah.
like a king, you can fall down very far down.
Mm. Mm. I think I couldn't agree with you more. I think as you say, we are too introverted within our own sport, and we need to make it more public and make it more open so that
I
people see how responsible we are.
If you look at clubs, they have these. Yeah, I must say they have the best dog is, and that's not pedigree dogs. That's some more that you see. Oh, what a nice dog! People love it. So so maybe it is strange if you have a Maltese and you come into the ring and you have it so on your hand. It is strange. But if
Yes,
I say it to people, they look at me if I'm an idiot. It is strange.
it is.
And if you have
Yeah.
an American cocker and you do so, and you put it down, it is strange.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
Then
I
they
exactly what you mean.
and then they talk to
Yeah.
me. It is strange.
Yeah. Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, my friend. It has been a pleasure talking to you.
Thank
I
you.
hope you stay safe,
You too.
and we will hopefully meet again next year, because I don't think we're going to meet this year. We will see you somewhere in some part of the world,
Thank you.
and enjoy each other's company once again.
And I enjoyed it very much. And a kiss for Rita.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Good night, Hans,
Good
and thank
night.
you.
Bye. Thank you.